Hello guys and welcome to Motorbeam. This is the Royal Enfield Himalayan. The 450 is here and this is a KTM 390 Adventure with spoke wheels. Which one should you buy and why? Let's find out in today's video. But before we begin, subscribe to Motorbeam and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Yeah. Last time we compared the 390 Adventure with the Triumph Scrambler 400X, but since the Triumph is not made for hardcore off-roading, we are not adding it in today's comparison. So welcome back to the studio. I want to talk to you guys about the differences between both the motorcycles. So your purpose is gonna be your choice. Now to tell you guys that the Himalayan is gonna be your torque-loaded motorcycle and the KTM is a powerful bike. The power difference is quite a bit, 3 bhp more on the KTM, but it has 3 Newton meters less. मतलब 40-40 का आपको balance मिल जाता है Himalayan में, while the KTM is 43 bhp and 37 Newton meters. So yes, in a single cylinder motorcycle capacity in India, Himalayan has the highest amount of torque, and 40 Newton meters it's quite something because it gets you there right from 3000 rpm and उसका torque बहुत ज़्यादा usable है. Compared to the older Himalayan, yes, the torque is not as much, it's not as immediate, लेकिन to be very honest, this torque is good enough to get you to places. And even in the Himalayas, when we were riding this motorcycle where the altitude was quite a bit and you can expect power drop of 20 to 30%, it was still performing like nuts. Now in comparison, we don't know the exact prices, but if I give a prediction, and if the prices of the Himalayan 450 compared to the spoke wheel variant, if it is cheaper, then it makes a lot of sense because it is an overall bigger motorcycle and it feels like a proper tourer. But at the same time, adventure is ready for a bit more adventure. Both the motorcycles get riding modes, लेकिन Himalayan में जो riding modes है, there is a difference, performance and eco, and you can actually feel the difference while riding it क्योंकि eco में एकदम dull हो जाती है motorcycle. While the same on the KTM, it's road and off-road, and इसमें off-road में there is just early torque, but that's about it. It still opens up and rides very nicely. Both the motorcycles get switchable ABS, which is a good thing to go off the road. But then again, if you talk about the brake bite, it is a lot more gradual on the Himalayan as compared to that on the KTM, because KTM is quite a lot sharp. Himalayan feels a little bit better. However, again, the rear disc on the Himalayan is just too sharp. There's actually very less feel overall, and I felt that the brake balance on the KTM is a lot more better. Now there is a weight factor that also comes into place because KTM weighs close to 177 kgs while the Himalayan weighs close to 196 kgs, and that is almost a 20 kg weight difference. Yes, there is a huge difference for the performance of the brakes and overall balance too. If you're looking for a sharper motorcycle here, the KTM is a sharper one. The Royal Enfield over here is a calmer one. You get a 17 liter fuel tank on the Royal Enfield because the airbox has been moved ahead, and overall 70 liters के साथ साथ I've been getting close to 28-29 kilometers per liter in the Himalayas, and over here it will be similar, close to 30 kilometers per liter from a 450. The same case for the KTM, I've been getting close to 28 to 27 kilometers per liter, and यहाँ पे you get 14.5 liters का fuel tank, which is usable up to 13 or 14 liters maximum. So overall you get a better range and overall a longer ride with a single fuel tank on the Royal Enfield Himalayan, and hence I've been saying this, that the Himalayan, the all new Himalayan, is more of a tourer than an adventure bike. Now dynamically the KTM is very dynamic. उसमें आप मस्ती कर सकते हो. It is very sharp and agile and everything. Similar is the case for the Royal Enfield Himalayan, but then again you don't get any suspension adjustability on the Himalayan. 43 mm के Showa के forks मिलते हैं आगे and a monoshock at the rear, and then it's just preload adjustable. That's about it. For the KTM 390 Adventure, the spoke wheel variant, you get adjustable suspension for the front as well as the rear, preload compression, बहुत कुछ change कर सकते हो, even rebound as well, and hence you can make that motorcycle act the way you want it. If you're going off the road, you can dampen it. If you're sticking to the road and if you have more load behind, preload बढ़ा सकते हो. You can adjust the rebound accordingly, and overall you can change the character of the motorcycle, and it makes a drastic difference on the KTM, while the same thing on the Royal Enfield is not adjustable. However, the standard setup on the Himalayan is just lovely because overall it feels very predictive, and the handlebar feedback compared to the older one, this one is very sharp, but not as sharp as what the 390 Adventure is. There is a tiny difference at the rear wheel of both the motorcycles, a 140 section on a 17-inch rim, a 130 section on a 17-inch rim for the KTM. While there is a huge difference up front because you get a 100 section tire with a 19-inch rim on the KTM, that thing is a 90-90-21 on the Himalayan. 21-inch wheel, and it takes over rocks and worst of roads like crazy. It just crawls over places, while the same thing on the KTM is that it hits a little. And overall suspension travel भी देखिए तो 200 mm on both the ends for the Himalayan, while it's somewhere close to 160-170 on the KTM, and that again makes a huge difference again because it feels very plush and comfortable at the same time, and yet it is dynamically strong too. So overall जो चाहिए रहता है ना, like in the presentation Royal Enfield was saying that this is the Bruce Lee, it works it out, it adjusts to the environment even though it does not have exact set of adjustability options. KTM is just too much fun. This is calmer and comfortable at the same time. Now accessing the motorcycle, it's a bit of a task because the Himalayan is at 825 but the KTM is at 855. Now 30 ka difference is quite a bit, and that same 30 is there on the ground clearance side too, because the seat height of the Himalayan 825 होके 230 का ground clearance मिल जाता है, means the pegs are a little bit closer to the rider, while the same on the KTM, the seat height being at 855, the ground clearance is just at 200, and there is quite a bit of gap from the rider seat level to the pegs level, and यहाँ पे खड़े होने के बाद भी you are not standing too tall, while the same on the Himalayan you are standing a bit tall. However, the overall handlebar setup, the handlebar on the KTM is a little bit to the lower level compared to that of what we have on the Himalayan, because when I sat on the Himalayan it was feeling like the handlebar is right on my chest and the meter was just looking brilliant. एक ही जगह पे KTM में बहुत सारा information मिल जाता है, so you get a more set of data while you're looking at it. On the Royal Enfield it's a smaller 4.5 inch circular unit, but उसमें जो data है it's been placed in such a way that you get limited set of numbers but the important numbers only, and getting into settings you can change all of the data too. KTM में आपको कोई ऐसा different screen mode या कुछ नहीं मिलता है, light and dark होता है, बस उतना ही है. But यहाँ पे on the Royal Enfield it changes to analog mode or digital mode, and in the digital mode you can actually access something called as Google Maps, and that works in a brilliant way. All you need to do is have a phone with the Royal Enfield app. Once you connect it, it connects like very quickly, and it connects over Wi-Fi, not on Bluetooth. Just you have to put down your location, connect to the screen again, and cast your navigation to the screen, and it is like Apple CarPlay or Android Auto when it gets connected wirelessly. Exactly similarly information दिखता है, and it looks brilliantly well. There is however a big problem, and that is that you have to keep your phone on at all times. क्या होता है यहाँ पे, that the phone is being casted onto the screen, and then there is a soft lock that is there on the phone. इसकी वजह से कुछ टच वगैरह होगा नहीं, लेकिन आपका फोन फुल टाइम चालू रहेगा, and with that there will be a huge battery drain. To help you with that, there's a Type-C port which has been added to the motorcycle, which is very useful at times, but you'll have to keep your power bank charged or you'll have to connect it to it, and उससे ही आपको पूरा data मिल सकता है. But then again, the pinpoint navigation works brilliantly well. With a dark screen too, the brightness is just perfect, and even in bright daylight you can actually see the screen quite nicely. Now compared to that of the KTM screen, KTM में भी बहुत सारा information मिल जाता है, it gets navigation also, but I've heard from a few friends and the bike that I've had for quite some time, KTM में navigation का जो set है does not work as flawlessly, and the KTM MyRide app you have to pay a little bit for it. Navigation works too, थोड़ा बहुत glitches है, but if you're riding a KTM you won't really need a map. You just go through whatever you want to go and ride it the way you want it. That is how KTM guys are going. Please don't bash me in the comments, and even if you do, it's okay, it's your opinion. That was my opinion. I've tried to use it and it's not as fluidic as that of what the Royal Enfield is offering. Now in the adventure motorcycling category, that was the Himalayan, there's a BMW G310 GS, there was a 390 Adventure. Adventure में Adventure X भी आता था, which was at the budget and everything, and you get the standard Adventure and the spoke wheel variant. Now Royal Enfield with the Himalayan is changing the game. Now you get a total of 3 variants, 5 colors and all of that with the Himalayan. So it does look quite good, and there is a huge thing that's coming. अभी तक आया नहीं है, and that is the tubeless spoke wheels. Now this thing is yet to be homologated. वो permissions जो रहता है वो अभी तक मिलना बाकी है, approvals मिलना बाकी है, इसलिए it has not come as a standard equipment yet, but it is going to come as standard with the top model, that is the Camet White, and I suppose the black color too. However, this as a whole motorcycle, the Himalayan feels built to last now. The overall build quality, the metal feel, and the way it has been put together, it is very very tight. If someone was to say that Himalayan का एक level था, the 411, 390 Adventure का tightness का एक level था, now something that's right in between and it's coming closer to the 390 Adventure in terms of the build quality, Royal Enfield is doing it really well. There are some issues with the plastic of the 390 Adventure 2, vibrations के time कुछ आवाज़ आता है, ये सब है, but that is there. But overall motorcycle fit finish, you actually like the KTM right from the start, and it stays the way it is. There is one more thing which has been like similarly taken care of, and that is the exhaust. The overall size of the exhaust on the KTM is quite thin. आप गिरते हो तो वो नहीं लगता है, कुछ नहीं होता है. And similarly the Catcon has been placed within the underbelly itself of the Royal Enfield, and यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक छोटा सा silencer बाहर आता है, and that is actually really beautiful. The overall exhaust note also for both the motorcycle, it's very throaty and both accelerate really well. So if you are out in the market looking for a sharp motorcycle that can do your adventure, you want touring and all of that, and you are a tall guy. Now note this when I'm saying this, you are a tall guy, big guy, and you want a comfortable motorcycle at the same time, 390 Adventure will fit your budget really well. But if you're short, if you're shorter than 5'6", there is a huge difference here, because the 390 Adventure will be a little too tall for you, and here is where the Himalayan comes to help you guys, because Himalayan का seat height 825 तो है ही, साथ ही साथ there is a low seat height variant, basically an accessory that will come, and the seat height will go down to 805, making it a lot more accessible. Yes, the Himalayan feels heavy at times, it is longer than the 390 Adventure, it is a little bit thinner, not as wide as it is, but overall, if you are a shorter guy and you want a touring ready motorcycle, and you are experienced and you want something that can go the distance, and you like the looks of the Himalayan, that the way it is now. See, personally, in pictures it is looking like the bigger X Pulse and everything, but if you see it in person, it is not like the X Pulse even for a single bit. ऐसा लगता ही नहीं है. You have to see the motorcycle, you have to experience it, and only then you will understand what the Himalayan is capable of. It is actually a motorcycle that is made for the Himalayas, that is made to go the distance, and compared to the 390 Adventure, I'm telling you guys that the Himalayan is a worthy competitor. The only thing that's stopping me from giving a proper verdict right now, it's the price of the motorcycle, because that has not been announced yet. If it is priced a little more than what the 390 Adventure spoke wheel variant is, I will say it's not value for money. If it's closer to what the normal variant is, I will still say yes, it is value for money. But if it is priced close to Adventure X, I will say that chuck everything else and get the Himalayan. Pricing it what matters the most, and then comes the purpose and everything else. I suppose I've cleared all of your doubts with a little bit extensive comparison यहाँ पे बैठे बैठे, बट मैंने दोनों चला ली है back to back, and I could not get the 390 Adventure back to the Himalayas to get it compared at that time. Otherwise, I would have done a comparison right वहाँ पे सामने ही. To be honest, 390 Adventure, a very good pick, sharp, agile motorcycle. Himalayan, a very good pick again for shorter guys, calmer, cooler, and set for touring. I guess that sets the prediction of what the price is gonna be and what do you want. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.